hi everyone. Thanks for dimming the light. We have too many dark backgrounds. So, hi everyone. My name is Tomasz. I'm a technical architect, and together with me today I have Krystian, who is the brain of some of the operations that we want to show you today. So we are going to present you a tool called AEM Compose. Hold your breath, stay tight. We'll explain to you what it is. Almost working. OK, so we'll tell you something about us, and then we'll give you an intro, then we'll give you a demo, and then we'll have some deep dives at the end, and then, of course, questions. So, as I mentioned, this guy is the brain, Krystian. He's our principal software engineer, and I am the enthusiastic partner who is helping him to promote some of the awesome work he's doing in our company and outside. That's why we are here. So we've been here a few times before, especially Krystian. Some of you might remember him. It's our third approach to that whole developer experience topic on adaptTo. Some of you might recall Gradle AEM Plugin from like a few years back, which was built and presented by Krystian in the past. And yeah, and some of you might know us as Cognified. So that was the name of the company for years. We've been around since the good old days. So we've been here for a while. And now, why we are here? So first of all, we are all men and women of culture. So we'll give you a poem, right? We'll recite a poem about what we're doing, because culture is important. So AEM Compose is a tool for AEM, a lifecycle manager, and our gem. It's our third iteration, bold and blue, and it's built for DevEx with you in view. So it's for all of you. Over the years, we've learned a lot. We've gathered feedback, and it meant a lot. And now we bring you our best to you, blazing fast, feature-rich, and it's true, it really works. With industry best practices in tow, native CLI, YAML, let's go. Plug and play, simple to add. Managing your AEM is no longer so bad. For local dev, we are here to aid. Reducing setup time is our crusade. Seamlessly added to new and old, a complement not to replace, we are told. In a demo, we'll show you how easy it is, no need to bow. Fully automated, say goodbye to guides. Fun and simple, our tool provides. So try AEM Compose, you won't regret. A tool for AEM developers alphabet. Managing your instances with ease. With AEM Compose, your stress will cease. So, now, let's go with some uncomfortable questions about your AEM setup. So we are going to do some stretching, right? It's pretty late. It's 2 p.m. and it's Wednesday. We've been here all for 3 days. So yeah, give me your hands. Who is dealing with local AEM setup? So did you set up local AEM in the last few months? Hands up. We're doing stretching. Come on. Focus. Yeah. OK. A lot of potential customers of the tool. I mean, it's free. We're not going to sell it to you. It's free. It's open source. So a lot of potential users. OK. Do you have a getting started guide for your project setup? Is there a wiki page that explains how to even set it up? Hands up. Right. OK. Some of you have it. Awesome. Now, is it more than 5 steps to set up? Right. Does it set up, author, publish, and dispatcher everything, or is it just a bit dodgy author setup? Everything. Awesome. OK. Is it fully automated? Is there any automation in place? Maybe is your local setup automated? Awesome. Hands up. Who has a local setup? Hands up. Hands up. OK. Nice. Is it one click? Does anyone has a one-click local automation setup? Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. You can leave. Probably nothing interesting for you today. So you're set up. For those of you who didn't raise the hand at the end, we have something cool for you. So breathe. We've got your back. We'll help you to set up your AEM in an automated fashion. So what we want to show you, and we present to you, is blazing fast, light as a feather, easy to use, and the rock-solid CLI tool for managing Adobe Experience Manager instances. Remote, local. You'll see in a moment what it does. So key features of that so that we can manage your expectations. It's open source and fully functional. It's out there. We'll give you links, of course, in a moment. Some of you maybe found it already. The tooling is pre-compiled and immediately usable on any operating system, right? We'll explain how that happened in a moment. Ready to go, whatever you have. It's all Golang magic. It handles AEM and JDK installation, package deployments, OSGI configurations, repo manipulation, password changing. Whoever had to change admin password on AEM knows what what I'm talking about. Doing backups and SSL setup and all of the beautiful stuff that all of us have to deal with. Now, when it deploys stuff, and when it boots AEM, it has automated detection of stability of it. There are a lot of checks that check whether AEM is ready. It's fully idempotent, so when you run it over and over again, it applies only the delta. So whatever you've changed. If setup is done already, it will do nothing. It will just in 5 seconds respond, or a few seconds, yep, it's all done. And it supports both AEM Classic and AEM as a cloud service SDK. So it works with both. Of course, it does not work with AEM as a cloud service because there you have AO CLI, RDs, etc. Now, use cases for it. Local environment setup, first and foremost, that's something you can get yourself probably today. If you have 10 minutes, you can just use it when we show you the links. Probably 5-10 minutes and you're ready with your local AEM setup. You can use it to assist with your today's automated setup or management of remote repositories. So if you have some infra already, you need to manage OSGI, configs, packages, etc. You can use it for that easily as well. And it can be used for fully automated, like no-touch DevOps CI/CD setup of remote AEM environments. Of course, it should be married up with some other tooling because it's just for managing AEM, so it's trying to do this one thing properly. You should marry it up with tools like Terraform, Ansible, Puppet, or Bash scripts, or whatever stuff you have in-house. It can be added to new, old projects, projects with some existing automation, projects with absolutely zero automation. So it's really lightweight and really easy to integrate with your stuff. And now, enough of boring stuff. Over to Krystian to show us how it looks like and how it works in action.
Yeah, hello all. I'm glad to be with you here again. And this year I'm coming to you with much more friendly tool, much more flexible, and I'm sure that you will love it. And basically, AEM Compose could be added, as Tomek said, to any AEM project. And in our example, I will show to you to prove that it is so easy to add AEM Compose to any AEM project to the project generated from Adobe AEM archetype. In our case, we will generate a project for AEM Classic one for 6.5.80 or 17, I don't remember. But remember, this is very serious. You could even consider adding AEM Compose to some very old projects. I'm making automation for legacy project for our clients, and this is all, compatible with even old AEM projects. So, and also with AEM as a cloud service as well, with AEM SDK. And to add AEM project to any code base, to any AEM project, it's as simple as going to our GitHub page, to Wunderman Thompson technology, and just, copy the one line. Which will basically copy AEM wrapper script to your project. And the next step will be to only run that suggested command AMW init, which will determine what kind of project of AEM project you have, and then add some files, pre-generated. As you can see, AEM Compose is being installed into project locally, so it's always incompatible version. The next step is as tool is suggesting, putting AEM library files. I'm calling it is CQ Quick Start jar license file or AEM SDK. And we are almost ready. And optionally, we could just exclude, the home directory to avoid degrading our IDE performance. That's an optional step, depending on how you are working. And then we are ready to go. AEM Compose is ready to be used. By default, it assumes usage of local Alpha instance and local publish. And to configure it, it's as simple as, editing that file. So all configuration options, are available in single file, very easy to work with. And to, for example, scale your setup, it's as simple as copying one block of YAML code and to add, for example, publish preview instance, customize some ports, some URLs, and that's it. The tool will do the rest. Yeah. So we are declaratively defining what we need, and the tool will do it. Yeah. We have plenty of options available here, all explicitly visible to you, so it is not even needed, to go to look for docs, how to customize some options, very explicit. And AEM Compose comes with a concept of tasks to simplify how you will control the life cycle of your AEM instances, of your own AEM environment. We have some generic tasks like that first section, and to control the whole environment, we have a section with tasks which will control only AEM instances, and we have the section for controlling only AEM dispatcher as well. And in our example, we will try to set up full-blown AEM environment by running single task, that setup task, and now let's take a deep dive how that task is defined. Yeah, so we are using that task, another tool, taskfile.dev, to organize these AEM Compose commands into tasks. And within AEM's setup task, we will set up AEM instances, set up AEM dispatcher instances, and then afterwards run health checks. Then, when we are running AEM start task, we'll basically run the sa AEMW instance launch command. Within AEM provisioning step, we will launch AEM provision task, which will set up replication agents, enable CRXDE, or even install, deploy AEM service pack. And now, maybe let's check how it works in practice. Yeah, our goal, as I said earlier, is to have a full-blown AEM environment by running single command. Let's check how it works in practice. Yeah. So let's run that task, and at first step, AEM Compose will try to meet prerequisites. Sorry, it will manage automatically a JDK for you, so you don't bother what you have already installed. Then it will unpack AEM instances and then boot AEM instances up. And probably that AEM is booting up for the first time very long, so we will do a fast forward here to the moment when AEM instances are almost up. As you can see, AEM Compose could give you a very detailed view how AEM instances are behaving within, when they are booting up, for example, when the packages are being deployed, and so on. So this is very nice. Now we are at the stage that we are configuring replication agent on author for publishing the content. The next step will be to configure a replication agent on publish for flushing the content on dispatcher. Yeah, the raw shell command which is executed is in that magenta color, so you could even copy paste to your terminal to your shell, and you will do the same. So that tasks are very lightweight wrappers here. And now we are at the stage that we are deploying AEM service pack, and as far as you could know. This is, very long process. Adobe is doing a lot of magic here. For example, they are using updater fake bundle at some stage, to do so. Even AEM is becoming unreachable at some stage, and then everything is booting up. It takes some time, and we need to know where the AEM is stable again. Yeah? This is very problematic. It's not so trivial, but AEM Compose is doing that for you. Yeah? So this is very, very cool. Less problems with your automation. Okay, now it's a moment when we are building AEM application, and we could leverage here that auto-provision JDK, which we use to run AEM instances. So once again, we are, it is independent to the JDK that we have installed on our machines. And now we are deploying AEM application. We are running all of these advanced health checks once again. And then it's time to deploy AEM dispatcher. We are building AMS-like Docker image here, deploying it via Docker Compose. Everything, as you can see, is perfectly integrated, automated. Even we are right now editing host file automatically, which requires administrative permissions to do so. So everybody could run that single command, take some time, and finally see, voila. Yeah, full-blown AEM environment, AEM dispatcher, and single command. It is very repeatable, very fancy to work with. And you could ask me what will happen if we run this setup task again. And I could tell you that almost nothing. It is because the core concept in AEM Compose is idempotency, which means if, for example, AEM instances are already launched, they will be not launched again. Yeah, we are there up to date. Yeah, the same thing for replication agents as well. Yeah, so they are already set up. Nothing need to be done. Yeah, if a package is already deployed, it will be not redeployed again. There are some advanced health checks on base checks done there. Yeah. And finally, even Docker is idempotent as well, so it perfectly fits to our setup. Yeah, that's it. Do you remember at the first day RDEs and that command AEM RDE reset? We have similar thing in AEM Compose. We could just run, well, assuming that our instances are running, and dispatcher is also running, we could run that reset up task, which we are doing right now. And AEM Compose, it will ask, to avoid, wiping out your data, and it will, undeploy AEM dispatcher and destroy AEM instances. Yeah, and the setup could be run again. Yeah, so everything is automated. Okay, another topic, AEM Compose could help you with, automating things like tasks which need to, tune a little bit some nodes on the repository. So we could, via CLI interface, navigate through the repository, list some paths, read some properties, and even update them. We are doing so right now. For example, we want to update that JCR title of some, sub-page of retail page. And we could use AEM repo node save, -big A means on author, and specifying path, input string. We could also provide here input file. We could change input formats to JSON. We have many options here. And voila, yeah, we change United States to US via CLI without, magic CRLs commands. Yeah, so I believe it's simpler. And another thing, working with packages, I like especially that one with --URL. Option, package deploy --URL. For example, we want to experiment with a weekend site, and we want to automatically download it, then upload to the AEM, the install, and we could do that within single command. And what is interesting here, weekend site is a little bit problematic because sync installer just, needs some more time, but AEM Compose sees that, waits for exact moment where AEM is perfectly stable. And when we are running AEM Compose commands without, that task wrapper, let's say, and we have more output. Output is very explicit, clear, and we are seeing what's happening where, if the state is changed, like in Ansible, maybe some of you are familiar how it works. Okay, now let's maybe check which packages we have on AEM, and what could be nice. We could, combine any AEM Compose command with regular bash commands. How about that? With grep, and by doing so, we will list all packages that we just installed on AEM before while running that setup task. And now, let's say that we want to. We stopped experimenting with a weekend site. We want to uninstall and delete package from AEM. We have for that purpose purge task, and voila, yeah, a lot of less ceremony. And also, in AEM Compose, we have tasks for working with OSGI. So you could even avoid, accessing system web console via browser. You could do the same via that CLI that I will show to you. So we could list bundles available on instance. And also we could, for example, consider outputting the format in different outputting values in different formats, so that AEM Compose is very flexible. It could be, combined with JamesPath, JQ, and other tools, to make your own automation, blend it with any other tools. So the options are almost unlimited. And maybe, as an example, list some configurations that are coming with our AEM application. We could do the same. We could list them, grab them, then we will find that we have 5 configurations coming with our AEM application. And as in the same way as we worked with nodes, we could run the command osgi config read, and yeah, and specify configuration pid. we will see the properties and the values. And let's imagine that we want to, for example, increase the verbosity of our application logging level. We could do so by specifying that PID, that input string once again, and then the property name that we want to update, different value. Let's increase it to the debug, and voila. Simple as that. Maybe a time to refresh the throat. OK. And the final thing, we could reduce a lot of ceremony when working with AEM packages. Imagine that you want to copy content from one instance to another, I don't know, from test to local environment, for example. And to do so, you need to only specify source URL, target URL, and filter path, or even filter root directly in CLI. AEM Compose will take the rest, what will be needed to be done. Hitting enter, boom, all of these steps are reduced. You are no longer needed to, to go to the package manager, click these filters manually in browser. All of it is automated. And the last example, imagine that you want to synchronize down the content after, making editable templates, policies, and you want to, write the changes down to your code base. Yeah, it's simple as running AEM content sync with dir, and basically that's it. Boom. Of course, we need to specify from which instance we want to synchronize the content, and in the end, see that cleaning there, we will even normalize the content. Eliminate redundant properties like JCR created and so on. Yeah. So I believe that's it. I hope you enjoyed seeing AEM Compose in action. Over to you. And Tomasz, thanks.
Lots of content. Sorry, but it's too big, and it couldn't fit 30 minutes. That's why it's so fast. Check it out yourself. I know it's awful lot of digest. We have actually much more in there. If you could, the deck is not working. Can you help me? Awesome. OK. So now, what happens after that? Few callouts from what AEM Compose is. So as I told you, it's multi-platform and super lightweight. There are already releases for Linux, Windows, Mac OS, both M1.2s and standard Intel ones. It's less than 10 megabytes in file, that whole CLI tool. So the footprint of that, and that's all you literally need to run this tooling. You don't know less than 10 megabytes of a file. It's a single file, really, plus a few helpers, and that's it. There's a whole bunch of commands. Krystian showed you some. As said, it can do configs, do crypto, manage instances, OSGI replication, so on and so forth. Because it's a CLI tool and a native application, you just run help, and it kind of tells you all the time what it's capable of, so you don't have to remember all of it. You don't need to check docs. You just run a command, and it reminds you what it's capable of, so you don't need to traverse through docs for that. One super important thing that we think is really valuable, and that's kind of a know-how of 7-8 years, is how to check whether AEM is stable. That's super annoying when you install a service pack or anything else and it's not stable and you don't know if it's up and running, the bundles are not up, the services are still putting up, blah, blah, blah. Right? All of that is done, dusted, sorted out. And it's also configurable, so you can decide how that stability checks exactly look like, or you can fine-tune them for your own needs. For example, make it even quicker, because those checks sometimes take a few seconds. So it waits and kind of probes AEM to make sure that it's really stable. But you can tune it. So this is a massive value add. It checks bundle stability in a very clever way. It observes it all the time and understands what's going on the instances during deployments and also during boot time. And now, Krystian went through it very quickly, but it's not only a CLI. There's something called task file in it. So we've wrapped up for you so that it's even simpler, and you have to type even less stuff into the CLI. We wrapped some of those basic CLI commands into what we call tasks, right? So it's a series of commands, or a series of commands that you tell AEM CLI to do, together with some other bash commands to just simplify your world even further. It can destroy instances, restart them, reset them up, check the status of all of them, check out or check publish, reprovision it. And then, as Krystian was saying, dispatcher configs. You can manage dispatcher separately, check the host, stop, restart, do all of that stuff from that one single place. So you have literally one global CLI, and you just manage everything that you have there. and you just instruct it all through that config YAML file. Now, the tool was written in Go, and we've been asked quite a few times, why not Python? All of the DevOps people are in love with Python. We're not. So first of all, we wanted this to be really lightweight and have tiny footprint and be just one thing that you download. And then we wanted it to be multi-platform off the shelf. Those of you who try to install Python and work on it on Windows know what I'm talking about. It's almost impossible. We really like Golang's dependency management. It's super simple. It's not platform specific. It literally just downloads dependencies from Git repositories of those dependencies and just compiles it in no time, right? And then, yeah, strong typing is super awesome for something that has to be as robust as this. Having strong typing and being able to refactor stuff internally easily is fundamental. And last but not least, we wanted this to be super fast, and Golang is just super fast by design, because it just compiles to, you get a compiled binary, right? So nothing is faster than that. No scripting language is going to win with that. Now, how can AMC fit into your tooling? So what we give you really is in the biggest value add is in the center, so that AEM Compose CLI, and that defaults in that YAML file that you just get, and then you start fine-tuning them. We also give you two more things. One is the task file, so we give you a reference implementation of that, but the task file really sits in your repo. So you can define your own tasks, and whatever you're doing, if you have 7 gazillion different instances, you can automate, setting all of them up in one go. It's up to you how you manage your tasks, but we give you some reference. And we also give you an Ansible module, which talks to that CLI, ready to use. So you can literally tap that into your, if you use Ansible, you can literally tap it into your Ansible setup today. Because of those multiple outputs you saw, it's fully compatible with Ansible. It returns all of the stuff in a way that it's really easy to then translate it to what Ansible needs. And that's why also idempotency was so crucial, because we wanted the configuration management tools to work with it really nicely and for it to be fast. Now, you can plug it to whatever other tooling you have. If you use Chef, Puppet, Maven, Bash commands, doesn't matter. It's a CLI tool, so you can run it from literally anything. And all you need to do is just to write that thin client that is underneath gonna call the CLI, right? So you have very little legwork to do to integrate it with whatever tooling you have. And then it's really the CLI that talks to your AEM instances. You don't have to worry about that. All of that is offloaded and done by someone else. So you don't deal with any of that. You can use that for local environments. What Krystian was showing was really on his machine, right? So you can automate the setup of all of your developers in your project, but you can do that for your remote environments as well. That's something we do. Not everyone is on cloud. There are still people that are on-prem, and we don't want to set that stuff up manually. So we use that in production for higher environments as well. We are personally using Ansible. That's what we're doing today, but it doesn't matter, right? It's just a tool. Underneath, it still uses Compose CLI, and that core logic that is written in Go to instrument both local and remote environments in exactly the same way. We're also working on some Terraform providers. Stay tuned. I will tell a bit more about that. Generally, we also want to show how easy it is to use it elsewhere. Now, what can you do with such a tool today? So as I mentioned, you can automate the setup. If you don't have automated setup of your local development environments, you can do that today. It's literally probably going to take you ideally like 15-20 minutes to get some base setup running. Of course, if your project is more complicated, it might take you more time to fine-tune it, but generally it's rather hours to get something up and running easily. You can use this tool to develop something to get this to production. That footprint is low. You don't install any dodgy software on those machines. So it's really unobtrusive. You can, with this tooling, like with it, build your own development platform. So we have our own version of Cloud Manager where we just spin up AEMs on demand, and we use tooling like this and Ansible and Terraform to just do it for ourselves. And you can do crazy things like ephemeral environments, because you have rock-solid automation and you've offloaded all of that. You can build yourself literally a set AEM environments on demand, and it's not going to drain your wallet, because this tooling is free. You just pay for whatever cloud infrastructure you will use. Yeah, and I strongly suggest you look into ephemeral environments if you don't do that. Even if AEM, we have done it and we know it's possible. They are awesome, and they are like a microwave, so they make your code hot and ready in no time, right? That's literally what they do. So I strongly suggest. It's nothing to do with CLI itself, but those tools enable you to do so together with a few other pieces. Now, just a showcase so that I have proof. We have built ourselves a development platform. It deploys stuff to AWS. It's available to everyone in the company. We've built ourselves a whole portal where we just spin up AEMs on demand. I've shown that to some of you on the expert sessions yesterday. If you want to see that, we can show you how we've built that. What's possible when you deploy this concept and such tooling, what you can build for yourself. You can, literally get cloud infrastructure in no time. We use GitHub to deploy all of those things, but that's, that was our choice. If you want to know more, it's awful lot to digest. If you want to learn all of it, we have a blog post that is really long, spoiler alert, because it goes through every single detail of this thing. And here you can see the GitHub repos. Of course, you will get the presentation. The first one is literally the core CLI. Then we have a separate repo for the Ansible module, and that's what we'll be doing generally. If we'll be building some extensions on top of it, they will have their own repos. So we have Ansible ready. Terraform is still private repo. It's being cooked up. So in the next weeks or months, we'll open source that as well. It's just not ready. It's a bit of a pet project right now. We just want to see whether we can literally spin up AEM instances with just AMC and Terraform and no middlemen. Yeah, and how are we with time? Sorry, I just want to do time control. 2 minutes left. OK, so a few extras. How it runs for us when we use AEM CLI with Ansible. So you literally get all of the tasks that were done by AMC pumped straight to Ansible. We today use Packer today with that. So we will first run Packer with AMC to get like base AEM setup with service pack and maybe some extra packages, wrapped up into an AMI on AWS, and then we'll use that to deploy, keep spinning up new ephemeral environments, right? So we cut off some time with Packer to get the basics, and then we just apply the delta on top of that. It allows you to spin up outer publish dispatcher in like 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes together with the tests, right? So, and you can have 100 of them in 10 minutes, really. Yeah,
that example is even available on GitHub. Yeah, you could provide just AWS credentials and run it, and you will see that same aspect as here.
OK, and yeah, just a sneak peek. The Terraform provider is coming. It's a snapshot from GitHub. You won't be able to see that repo yet because it's private, but we'll be releasing that soon. It's the next thing we're looking to do. And we are, I think, right on time. We removed some slides. So awesome. That's it.
Yep.
That was way too quick. Thank you very much.
Yeah, gents, we have quite some questions. So
we'll answer all of them later. I'll make sure I answer every question of them.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about maybe the tool and capabilities.
Yeah.
Like, for example, do you also support automatically installation of Adobe add-ons like CIF add-on, for example?
Yes, you can install any packages you want from wherever they come from. They could be from the repo or remote. You can automate all of that easily there. That's what we do actually, because we, for example, install the core component stuff for the classic version of it. So it's in there with some examples.
How do you guarantee that AEM is started properly?
Yeah, so there's a series of health checks. First and foremost, it checks the bundle stability or generally OSGI health, whether the bundles are up, the number of services. So it's literally listening to how the state is changing. And then it waits for it to calm down, to stabilize at something. And then it will keep probing it even further to check whether nothing changed. If you ever install the service pack on AEM, it's dancing like up and down a few times, right? So this tool can easily install a service pack and really notify you when it's truly finished. So there's quite a bunch of health checks, and it's like 8+ years of know-how. When you inspect the health checks, you will get an idea of what it's doing. If you inspect the health check configuration, you will see kind of the places it's in detail looking into, but there are quite a few.
There's some concerns about support and kept it updated, such a tool. How do you want to manage that?
Sure. So I think that the biggest thing is that we use it in production with our clients today, and those are longer-term clients. So by mere that fact, we will keep it up to date for next years, because that client literally revamped their infrastructure. So that platform has 5+ years lifecycle. That just sold one client, right? We don't have a replacement for this tooling really, and we are obsessed with like local development experience. So we will keep this tool alive for ourselves until someone invents something better, really. So for now, we see no replacement for this kind of tooling, literally. So for those two reasons, we will keep it for ourselves, for sure. It's open source as well, and we had some donations already. All of you are welcome to come with ideas or with donations. It's written in Go. It's really easy to modify, right?
Go is very easy.
Yeah, it's super simple. Go is a very friendly language. It's really simple language. It has a very little like syntax sugar, so it's really easy to get your head around what that tool is doing underneath. And I really encourage you to open that repo and check how it's working underneath. All of it is open source, every single bit of it.
Krystian, Thomas, thank you for having you on stage.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.